We're ready?
Yes.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. It's just after 11 a.m. We're at the courthouse in Marfa, Texas. This is a special meeting of the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, and it's our 2026 workshop. So I'll have everybody introduce themselves here in just a minute. Madam Clerk, my quorum verification, please. Present.
Here.
There she goes.
Commissioner Precinct 2, María Fernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Precinct 3, Orestes Contia.
Here.
Commissioner Precinct 4, Orestes Knight.
And Commissioner Knight told me yesterday he wasn't going to be able to make it. So, Deirdre, you're good?
I'm good.
All right. So, thank you so much, Madam Clerk. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We'll move on to public comments. Public comments, any public comments? Okay, we'll move on to the workshop. Agenda item number 1, discussion with action of projects for the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, Colonia Fund Construction Program with Texas CDBG. So I'll for just a record, I'll ask you to introduce yourself.
Okay. Alicia, did you want to give us an overview of anything, or do you want me to just jump right on?
I think the commissioners are very well.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Well, Judge Latillo, commissioners, my name is Marcy Tuck. I live in Alpine, so it was a short drive over here this morning, and I work for Centurion. We are the engineers who were selected to help with this project, providing cost estimates for the CDBG grant. I will let Roxy with GrantWorks introduce herself in a moment. But I am here today to help you guys figure out and pinpoint which projects will be included in that application. Because it's one thing to say, we're going to go after some money, but now we really have to know what we're asking the money for. So that's what this meeting is intended to be.
Okay.
And that's me. So Roxy, if you're on, if you'd like to introduce yourself briefly.
Good morning, commissioners. Can y'all hear me okay?
Can, thank you so much.
Well, I'm Roxy Sandoval, and I'm with GrantWorks, and we've been hired by the county to administer or help to prepare the application, and then fingers crossed that we get the award. We will help the county to administer the grant and work hand in hand with Marcy to develop the project, to submit the project, and then eventually to administer the project. So as Marcy said, it's really important that we pinpoint the projects that we would like to do. The grant maximum is $1 million. However, once we back out Centurion's maximum cost would be $85,000. Marcy, I know you and I discussed that. And then our administrative fees at $60,000. We're looking at an $855,000 construction budget. So that is the number that we need to hit as far as the projects that we do. And of course, this is a Colonia program, so we have to benefit Colonia residents. And y'all have several colonias that we've discussed. Judge, I know you and I have had a conversation. Marcy's, I've talked with Deirdre as well. And I know there's a lot of needs in those colonias. So I think the most important part is going to be prioritizing. I know there's a lot of projects that y'all would like to do. We've talked at length about some of the things and the needs that are occurring in the colonias. But we do need to hone in on what's a priority and what can fit in the budget. And so that's what Marcy's gonna help us with. And I appreciate you being there, Marcy.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Can I ask a quick question, y'all? This is Deirdre. When you say prioritizing projects, is it from the list of 7 projects that we had submitted with the original application?
So the original application that y'all submitted had those were called community needs. So those weren't necessarily the projects that are going to be applied for, but they certainly foreshadow to TDA what the needs are. So they're called community needs, and actually TDA has sent us some helpful hints or notes and wants us to be a little bit more specific in those needs as far as naming the colonias. And so I'm going to help the county with that. I have access to the application. I can go in there and list the colonias. Um, we um, we know that there's the needs, but we have to pinpoint what will actually fit within that $855,000 budget. I know we talked about water and sewer are the priorities for a Colonia fund. They must be at least 51% of that budget. So TDA is that is just a HUD rule. It's got to be at least 51% water and sewer projects. And then, because that is the priority for TDA is improving water and sewer within the colonias. So, the projects that y'all submitted or the community needs list that y'all submitted, is just basically to tell TDA what the needs are in your county, and what y'all have been looking at. And so it's kind of like a foreshadowing of what the projects may be. But now that we've been invited to the bigger app, we're in phase 2 now. We've got to really specific. That's okay. We've got to get a little specific on what we're going to do in which colonia and for what residents. So, and just to mention this, we are going to have to do door-to-door surveys. I know the county already did a whole lot of surveys with the Water Development Board, and TDA is not going to accept those surveys, unfortunately. So we are going to send a crew to Presidio County once we figure out which projects we're going to do and who we're going to benefit. And we may need the county's assistance since I know that y'all know the residents a little bit better than we do. And I know it's kind of daunting for a stranger to come knock at your door, and for them to open it. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. I think the priority today is to choose the projects.
Thank you, Roxy.
No problem.
Okay,
The question is, it's 855K, right? That we're
for
gonna,
construction.
is that, we gotta figure out the 51% out of that?
Correct. So what's that number?
Or something? That would be-
Let's say 430,
Yeah,
430K. So, I'll kick it off. And again, we do have a lot of needs in our colonias. They're all in states of disrepair. We're antiquated or old, aging water systems. We still have people without houses in the colonias. And dilapidated homes. I mean, some of these homes, I mean, yeah, they're. Did you bring those pictures?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly mobile homes in the Candelaria area.
this is just a reference, not for the 4 precincts.
Thank you. Where did you download this from?
My,
This Eagle Eye? Or Eagle View?
actually, an intern created it for me. She downloaded
Thank you so
the
much.
complete.
And I've seen them. I'm gonna pass them over to our,
Oh, okay, great.
because what I'd like to do is initially, obviously, when you look at it, 855 sounds like a lot, it's not.
Mm.
But I would like to open it up to a broad discussions, even though they may or may not be in the end. Like one of the things I know that Commissioner Escondria would like is at least consideration of rehabilitation. But I think we'd be all in agreement that first we need to do is tackle this 435K. So,
I would suggest a water system in Candelaria.
okay,
They've been struggling a lot with that water tower and
okay,
all the leaks, and so I would suggest on my precinct and that colonial would be the water
the water.
the water supply here.
Okay, and,
Monday?
Candelaria?
Candelaria, yes.
okay,
And specifically water supply,
The water
not
supply.
the septics, not the
No, no,
meters.
water supply. They have an old tower and they have old pipes. They struggle with leaks and all this.
okay.
You know,
I know, go
sorry,
ahead,
Joe.
who's that?
You know,
So,
Marcy,
know
I
this,
worked with the water system in Candelaria, and we got it up into really good working condition, but it always needs improvement. They currently don't have a water operator, and I know we can't, I believe we can't pay a water operator out of this grant, but they are in severe need of new meters. They've had a couple of broken main water lines over this last year. So actually the line that leads into the water meters and then beyond from the water meters into various houses are a great need in Candelaria.
What is the population of Candelaria?
They have
Or
dropped,
how many residences, I guess, like how many meters would there be, basically?
right. They
water
dropped
meters out.
from 50 to 25.
From 25 to 50?
They dropped from 50 to 25.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think they may even be less than that right now. The main person, and I know Obed knows this, is we work with Lorraine. Um, and she is the person that's keeping that water system going right now. She actually lives there in Candelaria, and sometimes she's in Odessa.
Okay.
I have a quick question. You said they went from 50 to 25. You mean there used to be 50 customers, now there's only 25?
Yeah, when the Army came to Presidio County,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of folks were had a house in Candelaria, and they also lived across the river. But when that got shut down, that created a real hardship on those families.
Okay.
So in 25, that's kind of a loose number. I want to be clear because once they go below 25, we no longer have the regulations of TCEQ and a lot of the challenges that that water system has. So Lorraine's name is Lorraine Tellez, and I know that Commissioner Escontreras has her number, but if y'all need anything, I can share that as well.
Thank you.
Okay, we have to double check the population. So we can make
Excuse me?
sure.
I think that's pretty close.
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
close.
that's pretty close. I know this. Please go ahead.
No, just so we don't deviate too much, the water supply and what Deidre is saying, are they two different things?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we start with the commissioner and his needs, and then we go with that, that way we're not getting all of those stuff confused. We
Okay,
have limited time.
okay. So I kind of like that. So we're not stuck on one colonia. So, in a nutshell, that's yours. In a nutshell, Redford.
I think what we shared as information was that a new water well might be needed for it. There's two water wells, one produces 17 gallons per minute, one 100 gallons per minute. So when the 100 gallons per minute, for some reason stops or breaks up water pumping, there's not enough water for the city of Redford, so probably a new well would be something to prioritize on as far as Redford. Do you guys have a tower there? There's a tank.
There's two towers.
There's two tanks.
One was part of a CDBG grant, I think in 2018. As a matter of fact, my wife calls them the twin towers. One is painted, one is not painted. So, but yeah, we did talk with Mr. Morales, who runs that water system. And I think how many connections? He says they have
About
85,
45,
they have 85 water connections, but 45 are active.
45 are probably active.
45 are active. And he said on his wish list, what else did he have? He had a
We had,
new water well,
maybe new pumps and piping or paving the road to the water tanks.
an all-weather road up to the water
Yeah,
tanks.
up to the water tanks. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Well, all-weather road. You said and pumping,
It's
like lift station pumping or just pumping?
It would be the
water well pump.
water well pumps.
They
Yeah,
also,
so
they currently have a grant out for water meters and they're hoping that will come in. But if it doesn't come in, they're going to need, replacement water meters.
okay.
Deirdre, do you know when they would find out about that grant or that
Um,
award?
I think within the next 2 months, Marcy.
But possibly not before this deadline, which is May 15th, correct, Roxy?
That's correct. And we do have to post before we submit this grant, so we really probably have to wrap up a lot of stuff by May 1st or between May 1st and May 5th. So that we can review it through our review process. And then also we have to publicly post that the application's available to be reviewed by anyone who would want to see it. So we have to have it pretty much done at the least a week before the deadline of May 15th.
So that wouldn't be a project that should be considered.
What was that?
So the water meters for Redford, we could probably take those out.
If there's a current, do y'all know what grant that is that was applied for those meters?
It's what Texas Water Development Board.
Oh, it is Water Development Board. Okay.
And I do know that we have Lone Star is I believe they were given permission to apply for some monies that are available through the last legislative session
Mhm.
that we couldn't push on our water development district or our water conservation district. It had to be applied for by the county.
Is that the 500?
Yes.
We got an email yesterday.
Yeah. So that is, so those are other opportunities that we have. So I guess the thing that we should all take from this is, for whatever reason, the state of Texas put a lot of money into water services, water. So even if you don't get what you want at this table, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So I think the big things are, and I think you're exactly right, Commissioner Heisler. We do have Trey Geffers and his people that are moving chess pieces, and we don't know exactly what they're doing. Well, at least I don't. So if they have already focused on some Redford projects, and we don't have any projects for Candelaria, then I would say we need to take that into consideration.
The EDOT projects are Las Pampas and Shafter, right?
Okay, right now.
And the one for the city of Warren.
Okay, so
I'm sorry,
Joe,
can you say that again? EDAP is Shafter and,
Shafter and Las Pampas.
okay.
Y los compas available for this community
Mhm.
areas? Because I was told that
It's not.
It's not.
No.
it is not.
It's not. So because TDA is going through their recognized colonia list, and they were what they told me was it was only going to be Candelaria, Redford, Riodosa, and Schaffner that was eligible for this round.
If I can share, Commissioners, the Texas Water Development Board that I didn't realize that's who Redford was going after for the meters, but that has nothing to do with the Presidio County Underground Water Conservation District. I think that Charlie Angel took that on himself, who is the president of the Redford Water Supply. I think there's a great need for meters in all three colonias since Shafter does not have a water system. Um, I don't think that it's appropriate to include them in any of the water discussions unless y'all know differently. So I think when you start looking at each water supply, they have been in place for a while. Redford has done a stellar job of keeping up their water system. So, yes, they definitely need that new water well, but they may also need some electrical work with their water system, as well as some feeder pipes, much like Candelaria does. Rio Dosa is in great need of meters. Right now, Olivia is basically running that system. I did have a call into Wikar Kadim, who had been running it for Olivia and Jim Bloomberg for years when Jim got sick. And I don't know, unless you do, Commissioner Escontreras, unless you have a better feel of what the needs for Riadosa are, I think it's really going to each water system, y'all, and looking at what they have in place, where they may be getting dinged by TCEQ, because I know at the Candelaria water system, there are some leaky pipes actually within the fence there at the water system. We've had issues with their chlorinator. There's all these little things. So I'm hoping, can we not just identify that we really need our engineers to do a field trip to each one of these sites and assess the real status of what the systems and the greatest needs are definitely in Candelaria and Riadosa because Redford has done such a great job of keeping up with their water system.
That I understand completely what you're saying. I truthfully don't know, Commissioner, if we're gonna have enough time before the application has to be posted to go out and do that level of assessment.
So you just need a bigger, like 50,000 feet up picture of what is needed right now. And then if that gets accepted, then we'll start drilling down.
Correct. So the engineer will be providing project estimates, and actually the engineer from Centurion is coming in next week to look at whatever this group decides as the projects for the application. And so, yes, we would be going out to those colonias, but in terms of doing a true, we could do it visually. If they're leaking, then yeah, it needs some work. But in terms of actually evaluating the system and doing it properly, I just don't think that we have the time for this application to go into that level of analysis on the systems, unless they've already been done. Has anything with, other funding or bigger efforts established any of that information? Part of this is what information do we have to be able to submit to justify why we're asking, for the money? Does anybody know if that level of study has been done?
We have just asked, I asked Riosa, and they told me they were okay with the water system. But we'll have to talk to them about the meters. I didn't know about the meters, but I asked them, how's your water supply? How's this? They say it's perfect. But Candelaria, they really have these issues. So I don't know if we could do like a all new water system or rehab it because of the matter of time. But they've been struggling a lot with that.
Yeah.
With
And
that,
I'll say something that's out of turn. I suspect that Ruidosa, they intentionally keep that number below the 25
So they
to
don't have
avoid the
to,
regulation.
yeah.
You are so correct.
So I think what they do is whenever they get close to that 25, they're like, you just tap into my line and we'll use my meter, and I understand why.
Yeah.
Because TCQ is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But they're there for a reason, obviously. And I know the word of the year is arsenic. Arsenic levels are up. Actually, what happened is TCQ reduced the parts per million that's allowable in arsenic, which triggered everything to be
Right.
in trouble.
Right.
So I'm not saying, look, they know better than I do, and look, I'm just as worried about the water system as anybody is. But it's something that we're going to have to contend with, because if they made it a rule, they're going to ding you on it if you don't meet it. So, and it's all about filtration. That's what it's all about. So, and our systems are old and dilapidated, and we're never going to meet that minimum standard.
You know,
we're also
Marcy,
gonna need some repairs and rehabilitation on those paved roads in Candelaria, correct?
right.
Ruben?
Marcy, to address your question about has anyone looked at it, there is
Sí,
a
porque
working group that has been working with Candelaria on the very thing that the judge just brought up. And Kleinman and Associates there in Presidio has looked real closely at the Candelaria issues.
Okay, do they have any deliverables that can be shared at this point so we can incorporate them into the grant application and starting project estimates for it?
You know, that would be a question for Ramon Carrasco. That's who I usually have most of my conversations with.
He just called me. I don't know if you guys want to bring him in via Zoom. I can see if he's available. He has the most knowledge of, okay, so
Okay.
he's in a meeting longer than expected. Let me see. Let me see if he'll answer. And let me see if maybe we can send him a quick link, Scotty, if he's available.
You know, Marcy, and Ramon and Kleinman, they have been working also on the arsenic in Redford. But I think that the Redford water supply just got frustrated because it was taking so long. So the Redford water supply has taken over that issue themselves. Redford really is sustainable. They have a great group of folks. I think they have 3 certified water operators there. Um, and, Hector Morales and Charlie Angel have always been really, really forthcoming with information, and they have really good facts and stats. So I think that that's who I would be speaking to in Redford. With Candelaria, as I said, it's kind of been handed to Lorraine Tellez. But I did have Jimmy Avila. He is with the city of Presidio's water system. And Jimmy Avila, we had hired him as the water operator for about 9 months until
Okay.
the private donation ran out. And unfortunately, the Candelaria water system just didn't have enough resources to keep Jimmy on. But Jimmy would be very insightful at being able to assess what those needs are in Candelaria. And I certainly feel in Ruidosa, Wikar Kadim has been running that system for a long time. I think there is drama going on in Ruidosa right now. And we had a great loss when Jim Bloomberg passed away because he helped to get that system built and knew it like the back of his hand. So I can send you contact information on those folks.
Okay. So it sounds like Redford, just trying to keep everything straight here. So it sounds like the Redford Colonia is pretty sustainable in Commissioner Hissler's words. They don't necessarily need anything right now.
They
They
need
do.
they need that water tower.
They need the tap.
And they
Yeah,
need,
they-
they
not,
need a new
not a
well.
tower, they,
A
yeah,
new
they
well.
need, they don't need a tower, they need a new well.
Water well.
Not Redford.
Yeah.
Yeah, Redford.
Redford, okay.
yeah.
Redford
Needs the well.
combined, okay, so Redford combined has 2 water wells. Both water wells produce 117 gallons a minute on average. The big one, the one that produces 100 gallons, has been spotty, and it goes out. And when it goes out, that 17 gallons a minute is not enough to supply
Okay,
the residents.
so well pumps and an all-weather road to get there.
So it would be a new well, and then the pipes to deliver it to the or yeah, whatever mechanisms needed to get it to the new tanks, and then an all-weather road, an all-weather access road. That's Redford.
You know,
Okay,
Marcy, I think it should be clear Redford has the best system because they have the most hands-on over there. And they really do work and maintain their system in a beautiful way. This water well they're talking about, where the 2 current wells are lower, closer to 170. And they're going to have to look at moving north in order to get what they feel is a tap into a better water supply.
okay,
So my experience is that they take real good care of their facilities, and so they tend to always be very much more prepared to, be the recipients of grants and grant funding. Whereas when you think of a greater need, that's probably in Candelaria. They just don't have the support group. There's not a lot of folks there that can keep up and maintain that water supply. Would you concur with that, Commissioner Escontreras?
Yes, I would say we should focus in the future on doing a water development board or something, so that we can tackle all these,
Well, you
or
bring up
water district or something.
you bring up a good point, and here's something we've discussed this in the past. Here's the reality: you've got Las Pampas, you've got Redford, you got Shafter, you got Candelaria and Ruidosa. So we have 5 colonias, and you're relying on 5 different people. And kudos to Mr. Morales in Redford, because he has been, I guess, the Gibraltar, the Rock of Gibraltar in Redford. But I also know he's getting old and he's getting tired, and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to retire. So we're going to continue to have problems. I don't care if it's in Ruidosa or in Candelaria or even in Shafter. I think one of the things that I would like the commissioners to at least explore is to let's have a position where we have a water operator, certified water operator. We can go to Road and Bridge, and we can reclassify one of his positions. I know you need all hands on deck, but maybe just consider reclassifying one of your employees to be a water operator for the county, and to keep up with all the TCQ requirements, to be certified in what it needs to be certified. And then I think once we have that position in board, then we'll have somebody who will also come and tell us when these grants come available, can come and say, you know what, Redford really needs a new water well, and Candelaria really needs a new arsenic
Yeah,
system.
because we have somebody from the county
Exactly.
doing those assessments on a daily basis.
Well,
We're not gonna-
the commissioner was talking about Miss Diaz. No one will disagree that she has one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen,
Yes.
and so did her mama. And she did it.
She inherited that.
She inherited
Good
it.
job.
Exactly. She did it. She's doing it out of the kindness of her heart. She doesn't have the skill set. She can't read through the rules. She can't keep up with it all. because she lives in that little community, she gets a lot of little rocks thrown at her. Well, you're getting free water, and your friends get free water, and how come I don't get free water? And how come I did the done? I paid you. What'd you do with the money? Did you go shopping? How'd you buy that new car? So it's a tough place to be, especially when you're dealing with those small communities. So again, I'm just saying we should at least consider doing something like that, either creating a position or creating a hybrid position within Road and Bridge. Because with every day that passes, if the legislators are good at something, they're good at making rules and regulations. And they're always looking for reasons for us to fail. So
Is that something that the county will likely be discussing during the budget process?
Yes.
In terms of
I know I would.
funds for,
Yeah.
for the testing and the certification?
Yeah.
As well as hopefully a salary bump for that person that would then be
I think
certified?
everything is gonna be related to money.
Yeah.
Everyone I spoke to, they say, how much did they pay?
Right.
Yeah.
So, you
So
know,
it's something
I
that
think
we're
the,
gonna
I
need.
think the problem with that position, Joe, is we discussed it as the Presidio County Utility Services Board. And, there is concern that because counties by law do not have to provide that service. And when we start looking at our budget and we see how it's getting tighter and tighter, the things that typically get cut are the things that we do not have to provide by law. And watching and working with these water systems, I'm not sure that the county wants to get into the water and or wastewater business. We struggle so much already with what we're supposed to provide for our constituents. And I'm just putting that out there. You know, that has been discussed for years and it has never gotten any teeth. I don't think the Redford Water Supply Group, I think that they're very happy with the way their system is working. Shafter doesn't have a water system yet, but you know as well as I do, that's a bunch of very independent souls. And I don't, you know, it's kind of like, hi, we're the government and we're here to help you. I think that the reasons that some of these water systems are successful or they fail deals with the community. And that's
So what happens if they fail? Like Lorraine, who's liable?
They get fines
So
all
they
the
get
time.
fined and
And I
there's
get notices from TCQ all the time. They're in violation, they're in violation, they're in violation. They didn't submit a water sample.
They have different names, corporations or water systems.
Mhm.
The way it's been registered within TCQ. So those are the ones that get the letters.
So they're the ones that are getting fined as
Not
that
the
Colonia?
Yeah, the little water systems get fined.
only Candelaria. That's the only one that has been receiving
It's
those.
been left alone
Yeah.
for forever, so that's why they're struggling.
But I think you're making my point though. I mean, Shafter has water. They have a water system that generously is provided by the Shafter mine. It hasn't been tested in over 2 years. They have slapped a water boil notice in perpetuity and drink at your own risk. Who knows what you're drinking? So again, I know we're not in the water business. I got bad news. With this job comes the water. I mean, that's the most important thing in the desert is the water. If you don't have water, you got nothing. There's nothing else to worry about. You were going to say something.
I think we're deviating from what
We are.
I just to Commissioner Heiser, if when you're looking at this position in the budget, you can kind of combine it with other road and bridge duties. That would be a suggestion on my end.
And the only reason that
I
I
think you're right.
wanted clarification for that is because I think it speaks well in the application itself. If the county is showing that they're, you know, they recognize the need, they're trying to create a sustainable system, if you will, meaning to provide that person
Yeah.
to eventually help manage this without just leaving it
Yeah. And
to
it's
the folks that are there and,
Yeah.
and hope everything is okay.
Yeah.
If you're trying or attempting or thinking about providing that framework that actually supports what all of these improvements might be bringing to the area, they do need to see
Yeah.
that, so.
Well, and I'll give
Or
another,
it's better.
I'll give another example, because I agree with Ms. Sanchez, we're kind of deviating. But like there's a new water tower as you come in up Presidio. That was a North American Development Bank grant.
Mhm.
And that provides water to a portion of Las Pampas, not even truly Las Pampas, but a portion of it. It was a great opportunity, but it's not within the city limits of Presidio. It's in the ETJ. So Presidio maintains the water system in the city of Presidio. They pump water up to that second water tank because it's their backup. It's their redundancy. Good for them. But now we're running into issues where people want water connections, and the city's saying, look, our plate's already full. We got enough problems. You guys need to, take more of a,
Take
so
it
again,
from the ETJ
yeah.
and then further
yeah.
out.
So again, I think this is where it would be another duty that you could assign to somebody who's dedicated to water. I think there's enough work for them. And again, we're not going to fix it here. We're not going to discuss it here. We're just,
internal.
let's talk more about, we got $855,000, 400 and at least 30,000 of it has to be dedicated. That's after administration and engineer. We have to dedicate 435,000 to a water project before we discuss anything else, maintenance roads or rehabilitation of homes. So, in your opinion, Marcy, let's say we did a new well in Redford for them. What is the cost of a new well, ballpark?
Is my engineer on the call? No.
There's Ramon though.
Oh, Ramon is on the call. It's Marcy. Remember me from the city of Alpine? How are you? Hi.
Ramon, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Oh,
You're on
you're
mute.
muted.
Sign language.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to use this phone deal.
Sorry.
Hey, no, but is the other? I've been listening, Judge, to everything. You're looking for a cost of a water well. When we built the water well in Redford, about 20 years ago, and it came out to about $320,000 to build a small well that we did there. But right now it's probably. Yeah, right now you're probably talking more like 700,000. If you're drilling a well, it's probably going to take all of the grant funds.
Yeah.
Because that also, Ramon, it's Deirdre. That also includes not just drilling the well, but it's the water holding tank and everything that's associated with it, right?
Yeah, at least the water line that goes to their plant.
Right.
They already have a redundant well there, or a redundant tank in Redford. That's what that second water tank, that was the project in 2018, was that redundant tank for exactly that reason. So.
Correct.
Thank you, Ramon, for clarifying. I am not a PE engineer, I'm a planner. And I was thinking that it would pretty much blow the budget if that were the project, but I didn't want to speak as an engineer. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And just a quick question: is the other engineers, are they in line as well?
They aren't. No, mine had an emergency in Victoria, so he couldn't make this. But they're going to be out. We're going to do a field. We're doing field visits next week based on what the commissioners and the judge decide are the projects for this grant application. And Ramon, the application is due May 15th, but we need to actually get it done up to a week earlier so the public can review it and do, the due process of all of that fun stuff. So it's a tight deadline.
Yeah, no, and again, I mean, if there's a need for my help to try to get this done fast in time, if the other engineers can't do the budget, I can help them with the budget, and then they can seal it. Yeah, but I've done several projects there, so I kind of know the prices and everything. Also with the mapping, I mean, anything that we can do, we'll be glad to help you guys.
Ramon, one of the
Thank you.
reasons I wanted you on the call is I had brought up, you're part of that whole big arsenic working group, and I thought that you probably had more intimate knowledge than anyone that I know of about what the Candelaria water system looks like, what the Ruidoso water system looks like, and what their needs are. Because although Redford, they're doing, in my opinion, really well. When I think of the greatest need, and I think that's what this Colonia grant's all about, the greatest need is in Ruidosa and Candelaria. Am I
Correct.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think all the communities at one point, maybe 7 years ago, they were yet trying to get funds from NetBank, I believe, to try to
Yeah.
put water meters on all these
Right.
houses. And that never, so my knowledge, I don't think they ever did. I think that's a big thing because most of this or all of these water meters are like 30 to 40 years old. And so they really are not recording the water and people are probably not being charged fairly. So I think it's not going to take that much money, but I think that should be one of the big priorities. Try to meter everything in Candelaria, Ruidosa, and Redford with new meters and all that and all those things. I think another big need, like in Redford, like the judge said, we built that second tank so that they can do maintenance on the first tank that they have. I think Candelaria at some point is going to need the same thing. They've never done any maintenance on that tank or nothing. And I mean, it's going to get the time to when that tank fails and then they're not going to have a system at all. And so
That's
they
that's
really,
on their backup tank, right? That's
correct.
closer to the, okay.
Yeah, building a backup tank in Candelaria. And Ruidosa is about the same, but it's the same. Ruidosa, it's almost the same system as Candelaria, but I think they only have one well and one tank. And I really don't know their system. I've never done work there, but when Frank Spencer built those systems, he basically built them all three the same. They're all very similar, and they all have the same needs. And but I think since Ruidosa, because they have very few connections, the state is not monitoring them, so they're kind of left alone. And but still, I'm pretty sure they have the same kind of problems. There's no telling how their water is because it's not even being monitored at all.
I do have
And
a question real quick, Ramon. I know you know them really well. I was just looking on the website that has all the registered water service providers throughout Texas, and I see Candelaria on there, but I don't see, and I see Redford on there as proposed, they're not an active system, but does Ruidosa have an established water?
yep,
Yeah,
they used to have a Ruidosa Water Supply Corporation, but they got rid of it
Because
when their water connections dropped. The state didn't have to regulate them anymore, so they don't have a board or anything.
they don't have a board.
No.
Because one of the requirements of Texas Department of Agriculture is that we would have to, since the county doesn't run the water system, we would have to enter into an agreement, whether it's an
Mhm.
MOU or if it's a special district, it would be a interlocal. But if it's a WSC, it would be a simple MOU that says they're giving the county permission to make uh, improvements to their system. So we
Yeah,
do have to have a document in place. So I just want to make sure that there's people running the system that could
yeah.
sign
No,
up.
there is, and I don't think that they ever canceled that corporation. They just don't have the board. I think it would be just a matter of getting two persons together and saying, "Hey, we're a board again, and we can sign the agreement with the
Okay.
county."
Ramon, have you talked with them lately? Because the last time I spoke with them, they do still maintain the Ruidoso water system. They still have a checking account, and that's what they were moving towards, was establishing a board for this reason. So I don't know if maybe that changed after Jim died.
No, I really don't. I mean, I've done very little work there, but I
Right,
just know from past.
right. Because historically speaking, you would know this best. It used to be just the Candelaria water system, and Redford operated under the Candelaria water system, correct? Because
No,
they
no,
had so few.
the
Not
Redford,
Redford, I'm sorry, Ruidosa. Yeah,
mm, no, I'm not
sorry.
really sure how that worked, but I
Yeah,
really don't.
because I believe Charlie Angel actually has a map that shows where all the meters are, and that map for Ruidosa had listed on it Candelaria water system.
So it might have been just run through them, maybe.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I know this becomes a problem for everyone. So if we refocus on the grant needs right now, I am so with Ramon is meters are a huge need right now. And I would also say that probably the pipes leading to those meters, Ramon, are in just as bad of shape.
I,
Because
don't-
yeah,
I really don't think so. I mean, that's a poly pipe, plastic pipe, and I mean that pipe doesn't degrade or do anything. I mean, when they replace those meters, if there's a problem, they're gonna have to turn off the water from the main line, and if
right.
they can see at that point if they need to replace the whole saddle, right? But that's, I mean, that's pretty. I mean, it could be done, and but I don't think they should go in and mess with the actual service line connected to the main line, because I mean, that's a whole new deal, that mess that you can get into if you break those things. But I mean, some of them, if they can't shut off the water, they're gonna have to replace that. So in the cost estimate, I think I'm with you, Dewey. I think they should include some saddles, because
Yes,
to replace those meters, they're gonna have to shut off the water, and if the
yes.
valve doesn't work, then they're gonna have to replace it.
Well, and Ramon, the main water line that comes down from that the well up on the hill by the cemetery, is that all PVC polyline too, or is that some kind of galvanized line and then it hooks into poly?
No, they're all those lines in Redford, Ruidosa, and Candelaria. They're not poly lines. The main lines, they're called they're PVC.
Okay,
It's a harder type of PVC, and but all those lines are in very good condition. And maybe the water valves and fire hydrants may not work, and need replacement. But the main line itself, it's should be in really good condition.
okay. Like Schedule 40
Okay.
PVC.
It's kind of like a Schedule 40, but they call
Yeah.
it C900.
Yeah.
Okay, so if meters, let's see if everybody thinks that meters are a key concern, because you can almost, purchase in bulk and get the better deal with things if you're estimating numbers. And that would be meters for Ruidosa, Redford, and Candelaria, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what are the numbers? Let's see,
I was
I've
gonna
got
ask
like
you,
3
Ramon, about
pages here.
water meters. Do you know how much they cost roughly nowadays?
Yeah, when we did the last meters in Presidio, replacing all those meters, I think they came out, this is hiring a contractor, coming to Presidio. Back then, it was like $480 a meter. So right now, I would say like, they should, estimate it at $1,000 each meter.
But
Each connection, yeah.
Ramon, are you speaking to the electronically read meters, and is that what you're recommending? Because that's not what
No,
they have.
yeah, no, I mean, you really don't want to put anything electronic over there. I mean, you want to give them something that with the least technology, the better, because they don't have the capacity to operate any of this fancy stuff, right? If something
Right.
breaks, it's gonna be really expensive to replace. So they really, I mean, in my opinion, they really shouldn't have all these electronic meters unless they want it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice if they can operate it and don't have to go meter, but they still have to go meter them anyway. But
Well, I think it would incorporate having to get the meter reader, and the moment
We
that
haven't yet.
that device broke down and was no longer functional, I don't think they'd have the money to replace it, Ramon.
yeah, yeah. So I think just the standard
You run in with,
a standard
okay, so
meter.
that you
And,
use a year. I don't, how many, I don't know.
So how many, so let's talk about how many, I have numbers, some numbers written down, but I
Yeah,
want to make
there's,
sure I have this.
There's about
in-
55 in Candelaria, 55 in Redford, and about, I would say like
25.
18, I don't know how many, 18, 25, less than 25
Let's say 25, okay, and.
Ramon, what about, kind just to thinking for the future, you're saying mechanical, water meters, huh?
Mhm.
But, Judge and I are discussing, we don't know how much water they use. Now they're running the fiber optic cables everywhere because of the wall. So what if we do this, with technology?
Yeah,
We
for the
put
future.
those water meters, electronic water meters, so that we can check or assess how much water they're using. Because we could check them over here if
Yeah.
we would do this water board in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I've never seen a meter that you can connect to the fiber, but,
No,
usually you have to have like an antenna and, a reader, and then send that reading to something close to a computer. And, but I mean, that's something, I mean, that I would say at this point is just preliminary planning. I would say if you're thinking that it may be electronic meters, I would budget $1,500 for each instead of 1,000.
What's the total meters we have right now?
Total, well, 135 total.
135 at 1,000 each, at 1,500 each.
So $1,500, 150,000.
Let's say.
I know this would start for, Mr. Morales. You know, having to get off the truck and go read the meter and then get up on the truck and then run to the other.
Yeah.
meter.
I would go electronic.
You know, I think pretty soon that's what we're gonna have to get. Those
So that would be a little.
electronic.
300,000? 200,000 just
Little
water
over,
meters.
yeah.
Yes.
And then if we went and put in, like Ramon is suggesting, we should have a series of valves where we can shut off
Just
one
auto-
designated side of town or an area. Instead of shutting down the whole, you got one water leak, you shut down the whole system.
And the fire hydrants to you report to.
Yeah.
the fire hydrants.
To bleed them out. So the incorporation of more fire hydrants, the incorporation of, and we've been having, for some reason, we've been having a lot of fires in Redford.
Replacement of water valves.
Yeah, and either additional water valves or replacement of water valves.
Or not the community.
And,
Okay.
and
Do we have any do we have existing maps basically of any of that infrastructure?
Ramon probably would be our best bet.
Well, Ramon, you're getting roped into some of this project anyway. Would it be okay if I contacted you after this meeting to see what information Kleinman might have on these three communities? Just as a starting point for us for this grant for them?
Yeah, and this system was done by Frank Spencer, and I mean, they're the ones that have all these maps, but it's all paper copy maps, right? They're old. I have the one for Redford. I don't have the one for Candelaria or Ruidosa. But if you guys call Frank, I'm sure he's happy to share the original plans that he's prepared.
and Marcy, as I said, Charlie Angel has the maps, I believe, for Candelaria
Okay.
and Ruidosa.
Great.
Yeah, and I have the one for Redford, so I'll be happy to share that with you guys. It's a PDF. And Charlie probably has Redford as well.
I suspect he does, since that's his backyard.
Yep.
Deirdre, is there anything you need for Shafter?
You know, the only reason I was looking at Shafter, Joe, was more for the wastewater, because that is still, I talked extensively with Trey Gerfers, and he said that it's very premature for looking at anything for Shafter right now.
Okay. So do you have an idea of how many septic systems you would need there?
I do not, Joe. I do have a list, and Ruben can probably speak to this better. He provided me with the list of septic systems. This is an old list, I expect, because there's some names that I know do not need septic anymore. But isn't that what Roxy will be doing when they're doing their door-to-door canvassing within our colonias? Can we not ask that question?
We can, I mean, we can. It's not on the door to door is more for income surveys because we have to qualify the colonias or the recipients as LMI, the beneficiaries.
Uh-huh.
But I think if we needed to, um, we could probably add that on there just so that we can get a running count which homes need and which don't. I think we could work something out.
Yeah. And
I think,
Rock, yeah, Roxy, I think in the past they've been when you all have to do that survey,
Mhm.
it's been a problem because everything. I mean, people really don't know where these houses are. And are y'all
Right.
planning on coming? Your grant works are coming down and do the survey, or are gonna ask the county to do the surveys for you?
I think we would send a team, maybe a couple of our guys, and we would actually probably need the county to assist because they know better where the homes are. And I think the people would trust someone with the county. Even though we do prepare letters that inform the residents that GrantWorks will be boots on the ground. Our guys have badges, we have marked vehicles. Even though we have all that, people will still not open their door to answer these type of questions. So we would really appreciate the county's assistance if possible when we do go out there.
I was just posting the question so that the judge and the rest of the county knows that there may be a need to help them
Most
get all
definitely.
these surveys. And the plan, Deidre, is just to survey. They're just going to survey the people that you all tell them that are going to be the beneficiaries, right? So if they're going to do some surveys in chapter, I think the list that Ruben gave you, that's what they should go with, and just survey those instead of trying to survey the whole community, right? That there's no need of surveying so many people. They
Correct.
should just concentrate and survey whoever you guys think needs a septic tank.
Well, the
Correct.
problem with this list, Ramon, is I'm looking at my former brother-in-law, and he's listed in Shafter, Texas, and he does not live in Shafter.
What, 3 weeks? You have 3 weeks to do that.
So we've been talking about the 51.
And I guess a question I have also is, and you can answer this, Roxy, not everyone that lives in a colonia will be eligible for possible septic tanks. Isn't it based on their socioeconomic status?
So
LMI, low
the
moderate income.
TDA will only pay for a residence that is considered LMI, and there's a scale. So it depends on how many people live in the home, and there's a scale of income that they would a range, if you will, they would point to. And so we would have to qualify whoever needs a septic tank. We would have to qualify them as LMI, and if they don't, then they wouldn't be able to receive one. Um, yeah, because TDA will only pay for LMI septic.
And I bring this up to Commissioner's Court because I looked at a previous grant and I saw the LMI information, and the first name on this list for future septic systems is our former county judge. And I don't know that he would fit within the LMI.
Was that Monroe Elms?
Right.
Okay.
So let me try to herd the cats.
Okay.
If we did water meters, valves, and fire hydrants,
Right.
That's what we would want estimates on
Yeah,
first. I
so-
think
We're close to that 430.
for sure.
Okay, so we're close to that 430 with just water meters,
Fire hydrant.
valves,
valve.
and fire hydrants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe,
And
would the road that you propose, would that fit within water since it's to a water system?
That would be the 41 remaining.
Yeah, that'd be the 49.
Okay.
but you would say I would err on that side, that's pretty close to 430, if not
Yeah,
more.
I would say that probably is gonna,
Yeah.
truthfully, by the end of the day, that's
Okay.
what,
So,
that'll make up that 51%.
so are we including Ruidosa?
Yes.
Okay.
So both
So now-
communities are Candelaria, Redford, and Ruidosa
Okay.
for the meters, valves, and fire hydrants.
We're talking about electronic meters, correct?
Yes.
It's $1,500 ballpark each one.
Yes.
And we're looking at, what was that total?
I didn't have the calculator, but it's 135 meters times 1,500 per meter,
Perfect.
and then plus fire hydrants and valves.
Perfect.
So,
So that would eat up that.
yep, that would eat up the 51%.
Okay.
So then 49%.
What could we do with that 419,000? That would be the 49%, correct?
So we could do streets. We could do, we could add more septic if we needed to. We can do maybe rehabilitation.
They're less, yes, but I mean, I think Roxy alluded to it at the beginning. Just know that the priorities for the selection committee for CDBG Colonias is really focused on infrastructure like that.
Okay.
But
So
it says on the website that it's community development and housing needs also.
I know that it says that, but I'm telling you that they're gonna, for the scoring system and they just want to make sure folks can get water.
And
It doesn't mean that they wouldn't consider it, but Roxy, go ahead.
They consider, if we do a septic tank on a private property, they consider that housing rehab, but it's still because we're on private property, but it's a 14A activity, so it's still considered a wastewater project, because it's a sewer improvement. So I just actually sent in a question to my contact at TDA, considering the housing rehab and how hoping that she gives me an honest answer on how they would like to see those type of projects, if at all. I did mention to the judge, and I don't think y'all would have a problem out there. I think y'all are pretty in touch with your constituents. The only issue that I've seen in other places when it comes to housing rehab is the randomized selection of the homes that do get chosen to have the housing rehabilitation done. There's like a wait list. It's a totally randomized. There's an application process, and then there's a randomized way to do it so that it can fit within the budget. And if people don't get chosen or if they get left off the budget, there's sometimes complaints and issues that the county would have to endure with that type of project. Just throwing that out there.
We have
You open a can of
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a can of worms, yes. But nonetheless, I know that I've talked to Judge, and I know that it's something that's needed. But it does get a little touchy with who gets the housing rehab and who doesn't, and of course they have to qualify as LMI, of course.
Be prepared for the political clout that you're going to have to spend on it. So inevitably, so-and-so, Tito Sanchez got selected. Pues es primo del judge. ¿A poco no lo iban a escoger? ¿A poco no? So
we could probably do the paved street that Commissioner Hernandez needs for that water tower.
you could.
And we could rehab those streets in Candelaria. They're very bad shape. We
You
did
could-
49%.
You can do an all-weather road to the water tanks in
To the water
Candelaria
tank.
don't have an all-weather
The water
road.
well in Candelaria, we stopped at the bottom. We didn't finish all the way up. Yeah.
Mhm.
So streets to both
Both.
Candelaria and
Yeah.
Redford, right?
We went
Mhm.
to the
Okay.
water well.
I think that's a
And-
great idea.
And I don't know about where the water, how the road is to the Ruidosa system.
I don't think you want to
Right.
touch that, Joe. It's on Pinto Canyon Road. And
It's from-
it's about not quite a mile up, but I don't think we want to pave a portion of Pinto Canyon Road.
If you do
Okay.
I don't
have,
wanna pave it all.
What,
if you do have the small
What-
section from the county road to the tank, it'll minimize a lot of erosions happening right now. Small section, you can do it very easily.
okay,
Small section, probably 100 feet.
so let's hear, I hear what you're saying, Commissioner, but let's hear out Ruben and see what he thinks.
What I think is that we can, on the application, if it's allowed for road, you can do the paving from the Pinto Canyon Road to the water storage tank in Ruidosa, small section, probably 100 feet.
Hold it.
that's-
What did you say? You said 100 feet from the water system into Ruidosa?
No,
From the county road.
from the county road to the tank.
Oh, I gotcha. That's was one of my questions is perhaps we can pave inside the fenced area of the water systems, which I know that Candelaria got dinged because there's erosion going in on some of the slabs, like where the water tank is. So if we could include the enclosed area of the water systems in Candelaria and Ruidosa, I think that'd be fabulous.
Ramon, would you, as an engineer, what are the pluses and minuses of paving within the section that she's talking about? Would you be covering up valves and pipes, and would it be a good thing? Would it be a bad thing, or?
No, I mean, any kind of pavement, any kind of surface improvements that you do, it's great, right? It's a big improvement. Helps the wear and tear of any vehicle that uses that piece of road, even if it's just 100 feet. I mean, it's still nice to have a piece of paved road. And I mean, the water lines or sewer lines, if they're, but it would be just water lines. I mean, I don't think there's any water valves in that area. I mean, you really don't want to pave inside the fence line, right? Inside the chain link fence. Is that what you're asking? If we should pave the pad, like the water well pad, basically the whole chain link fenced area?
Yeah, inside Ramon, because if you look at Candelaria and Ruidosa, most of their valves and stuff are raised up. And then there's a concrete pad where all their valves and stuff, and then they have their chlorine houses. That's on a concrete pad. So I was thinking paving around all of that. I don't think it will impact any of the valves.
No. I mean, if there's a valve there, I mean, whoever's paving it, you all need to include a budget in there to raise that water valve box, raise it up to the new pavement, right? So
Right.
so it's easy to access. You really, I mean, like I'm with you. You don't want to pave on top of those valves and then have trouble finding them, right? But they'll when you do the design, then you include raising all the water valves or whatever needs to be raised to the top of the pavement, and probably even put maybe a little concrete block around it to where the valve doesn't move, the box doesn't move anymore. But you could pave, but I don't think, I mean, there's not gonna, that's not a priority, paving inside the fence line, the fence property. I think because we already have the water tank in there, right? That's gonna take a lot of the money in there. But paving the main roads, I think that's a good thing. Maybe even drainage. I don't know, there's the drainage ponds down in east of Presidio that y'all need to try to fix at some point. I don't know what else. what else could be there, but I think the tank and the meters, I mean, that's gonna take quite a bit of the chunk of money in there.
Yeah, I don't, well, is the tank on the table?
No.
I thought we were just talking about
Okay,
streets.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought y'all, I thought I heard of Ed mentioning it. So that's why
Well, I think it was the road up to
the
where
tank.
the tank is needed.
We could
Okay,
probably throw
okay.
in
Yeah.
some caliche loops, so we could do what Commissioner.
I mean, I think
Say-
another big project that you also try to,
Okay,
a big
Because if we
project
need
you
to work
also,
on.
this is a
Okay.
colonia. If y'all can build
we can-
buildings on colonias, I mean, maybe the food bank building down in Presidio, I mean, that's a very good option. If, because that'll take that money that's left there, because you guys have like what is it, $600,000 construction budget?
It's 855. But the
855.
only thing is that whatever we do with this money has to only benefit Colonia residents. So if it's a food bank in Presidio and it benefits other people, they won't allow it.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
okay.
It
No,
has to.
you could always just open it for the Colonia people. I'm just kidding.
That's another can of worms.
I think the Redford Water Supply Road is going to be a lot more costly than we understand, and I think that would be a really great use of the 49% to
Yeah,
get that pardoned.
yeah. Like I said, any pavement anywhere in that area, I mean, it's great. There's another need but I'm not sure. Mr. Morales has always been having trouble with the water system to his house because he built his house on top of that hill. I
Yeah,
don't know. One of the projects we were trying to get a little booster pump because it's not Mr. Morales' problems, right? It's the water system problem that's providing water to a connection that they're supposed to provide 32 pounds of pressure on that connection, and the system can't right now because of the elevation. And but I'm not sure if he qualifies, if that has to be. To me, I think it's part of the full water system, right? It's controlling the full water system. But
I agree. I agree entirely with you. I think it should be addressed, and the same thing when it comes to that meter. We can always throw a little more money in that budget in the 430.
yeah,
Put a little more in or
yeah,
because his house is the highest altitude house.
No.
And I know there's another one on the end on the left-hand side as you're
Yeah.
leaving town. I wonder if she's having the same problems.
Um,
¿Cómo se llama la
but it would be.
señora?
I would say
Francis.
just so y'all can have the description. It would be a booster pump station and pressure tank. That's what's needed for Morales house, booster pump station and pressure tank, and all that is going to be inside the Redford water system plant.
How much is
well,
that?
and it was Mr.
Like
Morales that donated it.
$20,000. It's about
So
$20,000 what it would cost.
let's add another 40,000 to that 430.
Okay, so 450.
Yeah.
And Ramon, you said the booster pump station and the pressure tank that would be added to the main system, right? So it's a
The main
benefit.
system.
It's not, I
Yeah.
mean, the way they would look at it is it's a benefit to the entire system. So it's it's a system-wide improvement just to have that booster pump in there. Am I right saying that?
Yeah, it's a whole system.
Okay.
Hey, do you think you guys need my help anymore? I have to
Thank
get
you,
to another meeting.
Ramon.
But if you just text
Thank
me
you so
or
much,
call me,
Ramon.
Judge, if you need me, I'll
I
be
will.
here. But let me catch this other meeting real quick.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
for your time. Yeah.
For the 51% from the 855,000, is $436,050 plus the 40,000, that would be,
476.
Yes.
Something.
yeah.
Okay. So that leaves us with 375.
Mhm.
375. I I like the idea of caliches. I mean, I think we could buy $375,000 worth of caliche and we spread it. I mean, we have a lot of roads. You have the Cemetery Road, the erosion there. In Redford, we have erosion in Candelaria. We have erosion in some of these troubled areas or even where it's so powdery, you can't even drive through it. And then we get one rain and it's gone.
So you don't think that there would need to be any more structure to it than caliche, which is fine. I'm just clarifying.
No, I think you would need, there are some low areas where you'd probably need some
Culverts.
some drainage.
Okay.
And that's just an idea. I mean, if you guys have another idea for 300 and some odd,
Yeah,
dude,
I mean,
let's hear it.
it's not gonna cover that many streets, but that's what the engineer is for.
Yeah.
So would we be looking at Shafter as well?
I think you could. I think
Yeah.
you could. I think caliche is cheap. Caliche is, I think, $9 a ton. The problem is getting it to Presidio. And then it turns into $600 a ton.
No, it's more than that.
Yeah, so
Have you guys used RH Dirtwork in Alpine? I mean, they're not that far from Presidio.
yeah, and what we have found is anything transportation related, you sit here and you look at $5-6 diesel.
Yeah.
It's gonna pinch. Now, it would be a whole nother thing if the railroad was operating now and we could draft 4 or 5 trucks there or 4 or 5 rail cars, fill it full of caliche and it's still, I mean, I'm not even saying we can't call Stan Metter with Texas Pacific and say, we need 7 rail cars. We're going to fill it full of caliche out of Fort Stockton or Alpine, and we want it delivered to Presidio, and then we truck it to where.
And there's a big caliche plant there in Fort Stockton.
Yeah, good caliche too.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because the caliche is only like $200-300 25 yards, which is a truckload.
Yeah.
But it's close to $2,000 now in freight
to get it in.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Oh, unless, are there any other ideas? It looks like, and from what I'm gathering from Marcy and from Roxy, they're saying, look, you guys can consider rehabs, but on the matrix, on the scoring, you're not going to score as high.
Correct.
So if somebody selected all water projects and they're scoring them at a 10s and they got a perfect score of 100, and we've got 50 from our water projects, and then we get a 30 on the rehabilitation project, we're at 80, and then we're in danger of not getting funded.
What do you do improvements to the main water transmission line in Presidio where there's a lot of the damage that happened over there? I know you've been there.
It has to be the colonial. It has to be.
Well, that's colonial.
With this pot of funding. Now, there's other.
You're saying the
There's
water
other
main
buckets.
from the city of Presidio to the water.
They go to the colonia.
There's.
The colonia is Colonia Por Romeo.
Does it
No,
only
it's not.
go to the?
It's not, it
Well,
was,
it goes to the city.
yeah, no, it
No.
wouldn't qualify. It's been annexed. It's been annexed, so it wouldn't apply anymore as a colonial.
You
But
know,
I
Joe,
agree, it would be a good problem.
So question, we're talking about percentages. What if we need the 100%? Can it be done for water improvements instead of structures? For example, they need a new water. That's $300,000.
The water well? That was $300,000 20 years ago.
20 years ago, yes. But
so it's 700.
my question is, could we do it like 100% with
Yes.
water
Yes.
improvements?
Yes.
Well, we can do it.
Why don't you add?
So we can get all the money.
Why don't you add storage tank for Candelaria because they don't have any other.
They don't have redundancy.
Okay, so this just depends on how far we want to spread our money,
Yeah.
basically. So do you want to just focus it on water and wastewater, which is allowed?
Yeah.
Because
Right,
actually,
Roxy, I don't want to speak out of turn. It is
No, that-
allowed to just.
That's
do
allowed. You can
100%
spend 100% of the budget on water only if you wanted to. They just want to make sure that
we
Just has
could
to be at
use
least
like 90%
correct.
for water improvements and 10% for paving.
The
And that would
minimum,
help us get
Correct.
more points.
the minimum for water and sewer combined is more than 50%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, if we could, tackle like
100%
80 or
of water.
90% for water structure and like 10% for roads, that would be,
But that's fine, but then which roads?
well, 10% would be the colonial roads, no? Because
I
they're
know,
real
but
bad.
which colonial roads, because it's not gonna cover all of
No,
them,
no,
so then how?
That's why I'm asking, we're just talking.
Okay,
I'm talking about money wise. Let's say we need, $50,000 for materials for those colonial roads.
okay,
Then we would use the rest for water improvements. And we could tackle more,
yes, for
like a
sure.
one tower. That's my question.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we don't know numbers. I'm just,
I know, and that's, I mean, that really is our next step. Like I
Yeah.
said, the engineer's coming in next week and we're gonna go look at these things and then he can start to have a better idea of these numbers. That's where I'm at. I don't wanna give you wrong numbers.
yeah, yes, and I'm
So-
just asking.
Yeah, and
I'm the new
we
one
can-
here, so I'm the dumbest.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I'm trying to,
You're trying to catch up.
and I'm trying to get all these percentages that you're talking about that we can get the $1 million grant.
Right.
Not half of it or
Well,
not.
and I think something else that we need to talk about, Roxy, I don't know if they call it out in this application, but a lot of the state grants, or actually federal's worse about, or more specific about it, they'll ask you, if we can't fund, it's different wording, but basically, if we can't fund the whole thing, are you willing to accept less?
Less money?
Yeah.
Call it marginal
Yes, we can.
funding. So what marginal funding is let's say they have $5 million to give out. And so let's say 10 counties apply, and not all the counties apply for the full million. So they kind of just go down, whoever scores high, they go down the list. And if there's enough money to do a partial grant, which they call marginal funding, let's say we're the last ones on the list and they say, we can only give you 600,000 and not the million. Can you modify your project to fit they'll ask you before you accept it. So I haven't seen marginal funding in a while, but it has been done. Not everybody is going to apply for all the maximum funding, which is the million. Mostly everybody does, just to, the funding is hard to get. So they just go out for the million. But when in the case that they don't, a county doesn't, then there very well could be some money that trickles down that may not be a full application, but they will discuss it with the county before you even contract with them, with the state. Yeah. It's a
I
possibility.
mean, in general, some money is better than no money.
In my
You just
opinion,
have to cut.
generally speaking, if the maximum is 1 million, ask for 1 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they say we only have half a million, take half a million.
Yeah, but if we,
Yeah.
like, we're betting on just water meters and this other county or city or whatever is doing
That makes
water
sense.
wells, they're gonna prioritize them. So we throw in a water well, even though we just drill it, not finish it,
And that's an
we
information.
we already got that water well in place. We could
The one
find
that-
some money to put the
But
tank or
the
whatever.
one that has that information is the people from the Texas Department of Agriculture. Those are the ones that have those numbers to say who yes and who no.
Yeah, but we're just talking this and we're talking numbers. Well, that's what I'm telling you guys, to try to prioritize so that we can get the money that we want, so that we can do all these improvements.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so so from an engineering and planning standpoint, keeping in mind, we have about 3 weeks to get this thing finalized before, because it has to be posted for public review, et cetera. The next step, so I will be out in the communities next week with the engineer, on the ground, taking pictures, figuring out things, hopefully based on maps that we have at that point. I will ask him to focus on the water stuff first, because if it comes out, if it is only that much, I mean, I don't know, do you want us to try to add on other things? We kind of want to keep it pretty
It's because
defined.
right now we're saying about points.
Yeah,
So we might even need one new water well in Candelaria, we don't know. Because I remember Lorraine was, I don't know if Commissioner is hearing, that they were getting less water and less water, so
We can
I don't
try
know,
it.
the engineers will have to say this, right?
Yeah.
So talking about points, that would be helping us getting that grant better than other people that just need paper or whatever. Instead
know,
of getting
I mean,
49 and 51, we will get like
Right.
80 or
Yeah.
20.
like Ramon Carrasco right now, and I'm very appreciative that he answered and he chimed in on our meeting, but he's in Pecos, and he's in Pecos for a CDBG grant.
Mhm.
They were selected as the engineers for that, but I go back to the same thing. I've been to Pecos. They have money. So what are they asking for? What are they doing with it? I mean, I go back to the same thing. We'll score very high on LMI, very, very high.
Yes.
I can tell you, Judge, 'cause
So-
I wrote that one. I wrote the Pecos County grant. And I worked with Ramon, and we last round, Pecos actually applied for two different grants. They applied for a community development grant, which is coming open next round, which y'all can also apply for. Right now it's not open, but they applied for two, and they did water improvements on both. One was a standpipe. The CD project was a standpipe, and the Colonia project was replacing a large portion of the transmission line between the water plant and the Colonia, which they needed, better pressure. They needed a bigger line, and so they've been replacing the line little by little. And there's a portion that was in need, so we did that with the Colonia grant for Pecos County.
No rocks thrown at Pecos. I have good friends. It's just, I know they got money
And we don't.
and we don't.
And Pecos County does run their water system, which I was really surprised. There's not a whole lot of counties in the state of Texas that are in the water business, and so they actually run the water system there in Pecos County for the colonias that are they provide water for.
So what,
'cause
Imperial,
they have
Buena
the
Vista,
resources.
Cayenosa?
Leonosa and Imperial are the ones that we did for a colonia. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, Marcy, right?
Yes.
Do you want us next week with the engineers, the commissioners in their colonias? So that we can,
That would be super helpful.
because we can probably, assess better whenever they check our precincts.
Mm-hmm.
And, then we will see how much we will, tackle, percentages of the fund that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that at the end to see if any of you might be available to.
I know Commissioner Heiser is ready.
Commissioner Escontreras, you were talking about the Candelaria water pressure. A good option would be to look at that second well, because they really, I don't think, utilize that much, and it may just need to be reworked.
Yeah, well, that's a good deal for the
Yeah.
engineers.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
just hear all this stuff, but
One
they,
working and the other is not.
come on,
You have two wells.
the
one
well,
working,
and one is working, one's not working. So
you
they
have
can check the other well, I mean, how it's a better well than the one they're using.
rehabilitation of the water well.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it's gonna be, but.
But we could use a water tower there, the
Yeah,
pump
we
and
can,
everything.
we can try for a tank in Candelaria and then try for the well in Redford.
As I say, we can use that money,
So-
we can stretch this as much as possible,
Yeah.
even though we don't finish that project or this project.
Right,
But we can help.
100% on water,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you guys need to decide that.
Okay, so you're saying a water well,
And that would be just a water well.
that's a water.
That way, the pump
We'll
we have.
figure out,
instead of 10
figure
gallons a
out how
minute,
to run the
can
lines
be
there.
transferred or can be,
And then you're
we're
saying
supplying water
rehabilitation of the water wells and
And
a
the tank.
redundant tank.
a tank.
Probably new pump,
Yeah.
plus all these meters, so we would do like almost 100%
100%
rehabilitation.
water.
Or at least, if you don't have the sufficient monies, you can only do, replacement of water meters that once in use. And use the money for the water well.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever, but I would tackle the electric water meters because of the people that are helping us. They're getting old, and like Mr. Morales, they cannot go and open that deal and take the reading So if he can get close to it and get the readings without getting off his
Well,
truck.
and now you have Starlink. I mean, again, I go back to the same thing. Nobody wants, and well, that's not our responsibility. I got bad news. I really think it's our responsibility.
So,
Yeah.
That's it.
I believe so.
That's
And
the
then you
reality.
in a high spot, he can have antenna there, he can have the computer there,
Yeah,
and just read them from the house.
And then we
Well-
can get better readings and we can know as a county
exactly.
how much of these colonias are using this water.
Yeah.
They might probably need less water
You
than
know,
Candelaria.
I will say, so I worked for the city of Alpine for almost 5 years, and I was their grant writer and sort of project manager. And they've been having this water meter discussion forever too, even just within the city limits. And they started replacing meters, and I don't know if you guys heard about this, I'm sure, you know, I have friends in Alpine, but woo, when they replace meters, you actually get accurate readings.
Yes.
And for some people, that means
get
that their
upset.
bill goes up.
Yeah,
And then I'm just saying,
No, we had the same thing.
Yeah.
We had the master meter that was there for the school. I mean, they watered the football field. We don't have a football team, but they watered it every day. And then when we finally replaced that meter, and it was costly for the city, the school went nuts. What?
Yep.
You can't. And it was like, yes.
same.
The car wash was the same thing. The car wash was another one with a bad meter. And he's like,
Well,
"You raised my-" yeah.
And the country club in
Yeah.
Alpine.
So I mean,
The golf course.
we understand that, but again, this is where we run into problems. We're eligible for these grants. We apply for these grants, and then they come and tell us, well, how much water do you all process a day? I'm not sure. How much do you lose to water leak? I mean,
Okay.
you
so-
run into those issues
Yes,
where
you
we
do.
can't we're not keeping accurate data.
Mhm. And with these new meters, we would.
We
have this
would.
thing.
We would, and you would know, I mean, I know they upgraded their system with the city of Presidio. I think they have 2,200 connections.
Okay,
And I want to say half of them are, about 1,250 are now electronic read. The others, they shut everything down. They're doing, every public works employee has to go and read meters for 3 or 4 days of the week, of the month. It's a
Yeah.
horrible waste of time.
they've done
And,
it. Yeah,
and I
Alpine too.
yeah, so I mean, at some point you have to stop and say, we need better
More
data.
efficient.
More efficient, and how much are we really using? And
Well, and if we're talking, I mean, Colonia, these places are, you know, hard to get to.
Yeah.
So it is,
Candelaria's been forgotten. They're
Forever.
forever, like I tell you guys.
Yeah.
Reynosa's in a lot better shape than them. And it's probably because of their
I've been literally.
not regulated
I've not.
system, pero
I'll tell you, I go back, I use a lot of, like, the schools. I know that there's at least 90 kids that get bused from Candelaria Ruidosa every day to school in Presidio. 90 kids, 2 buses. I know there's a bus that leaves Redford every day, and it's got between 35 and 40 kids, depending on the year, that go from Redford to Presidio every day. So again, who are those? Those are your customers. They're gonna be drinking water, they're gonna be taking a shower, they're gonna, whatever it is. So,
But you would keep the water meters?
I think
Okay.
I think that's the bigger thing.
because
is-
we're thinking about the future.
Yeah,
And I was just saying, we know that Big Bend is putting this fiber optic that we can probably get our system into that
Tether into
system
it.
and it would work. perfect.
They might, I mean,
I don't
yes, I
think
would
water
think they-
meters work that way. I hate to say it.
Well,
they
there's
gotta
That's
get a
what we're-
system.
the Wi-Fi system.
The Wi-Fi
system.
system.
Yeah.
They gotta use something.
And if you have fiber optic, you have more reliable Wi-Fi.
Of course, yeah.
They are Wi-Fi.
So, okay, so, Commissioner Deirdre, we're looking at, all the monies would be dedicated to water. I know do you want to leave a portion of it for, septic systems in Shafter?
You know, I think that would be nice, but water is the greatest need, Joe. So I'm okay with 100% going towards water.
I would say a 90%. I would want some materials so we can repave those roads,
Okay,
like a 10%.
okay,
You can allocate 100.
Because we can buy the
50,000.
we can buy these materials with this 10%, and the county can
And
do
so
it.
we
The
use
county-
100,000 for
For
just
paving.
strictly material,
Yeah.
just for caliche. We'll spread it ourselves. That's an in-kind. We get it to Presidio and then,
And then we'll fix them.
and we'll do,
We use it
so
on
we'll
roads,
upgrade all the maintenance roads.
especially the ones to the water wells.
Correct.
That's those reservoirs.
Yeah, for the
Those are
grant
ones that-
purpose, we would have to pinpoint exactly where you're going to use that caliche. So we would have to buy
And
the
then, yeah,
by
we would
linear
still
feet.
go look at the,
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, the engineers will tell us it might be 5% or it might be 15% that we need. But we don't have to dedicate it at 49%.
Whatever amount it will stop where it stop the money.
Yeah,
And that would be for the 4 colonias?
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
county
we
will
have to
get
benefit the colonias.
the materials and they would take it and they would spread it and work on the colony.
Yeah, it's just for my notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
For
the
county
number,
roads, is that county road in the area from the school to the tank,
Yeah.
to the well field.
And there's two other roads if we have material left to maintain those roads, they're full of potholes.
Yeah.
Though that would mean into that.
Seal the
To that.
ones that been damaged for the
So
water.
the grant won't allow you to stockpile caliche for like later. They won't allow it. It has to be
No,
a
but
beginning.
the engineer will tell us how much caliche we're gonna need it so we can start working.
yeah. No, we're not gonna stockpile it.
No, we're not.
We're gonna use it.
That would
Okay.
be best, I would stockpile the $1 million. With all these materials.
Okay, so
Yeah.
our number one project is meters, valves, and hydrants for Candelaria, Ruidosa, and Redford.
yes.
And that comes in, we're gonna put that number with that booster at about 460, 470.
476.
Okay.
And lift stations, so.
Yeah.
Joe, did you
Yeah.
also say
Okay.
fire hydrants? Was fire
Yes.
There were
hydrants?
hydrants in there.
Yes.
An undetermined number at this point.
Yes.
Um,
Even if we put one at the end of each line,
and
just to
two,
bleed off, yeah.
and two, booster pumps, pump stations,
Mhm.
Yes.
pressure tanks.
Okay,
So that is, I have 476 for that. And then, okay, so that's priority one.
that's priority one. Priority two would be, and probably because it's just a little bit cheaper, the rehabilitation of the second well in Candelaria. Because I think, and you're saying they don't have a redundant water tower?
They don't.
They do
No,
not.
They only have
they
one.
do not.
I think they need one.
So that to me would be a priority.
Or in the same size as the existing.
Right. How, do you know how many gallons that one
I think
holds?
it's 40,000.
40,000 gallons.
The
Okay.
existing one is a galvanized bolted tank.
Okay,
So that would be that we kind of
That- that would be, yeah. And I even think that probably would take most of it.
Look, the one that we did in Redford, we did that concrete. The concrete foundation and everything. The county did,
Okay,
so they can bring the cost lower, so they'll be able to complete the full tank.
Remainder.
And then if we had money left, we would drill that new
well,
We have-
well in Redford.
Okay.
I don't think it's.
What if we go over? Can we go up to 1.3 million and let them, as long as we advertise what we want?
Don't laugh, Roxy.
Yes,
No, I mean,
they won't allow it, but they'll basically come back and say the county would pay for the difference.
Yes, they want us to do that.
You can ask, but you will ask to pay for the rest.
No, so let's do that then. So, meters, valves, hydrants, number one. Number two would be a redundant, water tower in Candelaria. That kicks us up to about 800,000, 900,000. Number three would
Joe, I
be,
thought number 2 was rehab of Candelaria
rehabbing the well.
and
Re-
the
yeah,
redundant.
rehab. Correct, rehabbing
Okay.
the well and then a redundant water tank. And then number three would be material for maintenance roads to each one of the water systems. That's Candelaria,
Whatever is
Ruidosa,
left.
whatever's left. And then, I mean, I still want to put that,
Septic tanks. No septic.
I think septic tanks would be number 5. I think number 4 would probably be the new well in Redford,
Oof.
drilling it,
Then we're
which
not
is
gonna
gonna,
get to
yeah,
number
we won't
No.
get to it. But like Roxy said, we've been eligible. These community development block grants, they're 750,000. We just haven't applied for them, but we're eligible like every other year.
Mhm.
And we haven't done one since 2018. So I think this is where we come back and say, okay, let's bite this elephant one bite at a time. We can come back, and then it would be our priority.
Good one.
Yes, Judge, y'all
So
will be eligible to apply for CD this next round, which is considered the 2027-28 community development round, which they're usually due. The phase 1 is probably going to be due in January of 2027.
okay. Well, keep us posted on that.
We'll do.
It is an action item. Do you wanna do that?
Does any more discussion? Any more discussion? It looks like we've got it.
I think so. I mean, I would just get contact information and see if we could kind of coordinate
Okay.
stuff for next week.
Okay. So let's see, how about, does anybody want to make a motion, or you guys want me to?
You make.
All right. So I'll make a motion that the projects for the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program for 2026 will be project number 1, meters, valves, and hydrants for the colonias of Candelaria, Ruidosa, and Redford. Project number 2 will be the rehabilitation of the water well in Candelaria and a redundant 40,000 gallon tank. And project number 3 would be the purchase of caliche to rehabilitate the maintenance roads that go toward the water systems.
I would second on that, Judge, concerning caliche and materials.
Caliche and materials. So I make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So, and I guess you can get contact numbers from everybody when we're done. I'll move on to administrative updates and announcements from the judge and commissioners. Do you want to start us off here, John?
I got nothing. Thank you.
Okay. And do you have anything, Commissioner Contreras?
Yeah, just letting you guys that the construction crew started Monday on our county yard in Presidio. So they're working as we speak to get that.
Excellent. I never
Nice.
approved those POs. Did I?
You did this morning.
Good.
I just gotta send them.
I need.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Commissioner Hernandez?
No more. We just had a fire in Redford, but I think everything is under control now.
Nobody hurt, no.
No one hurt.
Okay.
So the fire hydrants will come in handy, no?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any, I guess, I had a COG meeting in El Paso. I did meet with, Mayor Baeza, and I've met with, Pablo, Rodriguez with the city administrator. There's an opportunity for us to go after some grant monies for a solid waste disposal. And we're going to see if the 2 cities in the county can't coordinate the future of trash collection in the county. So, but I think in theory, we have a good, I hope this conversation continues. I just got off I'm texting with Jesse Herford with the North American Development Bank. The Council of Governments is prepared to help us wade through the TCQ, I guess, requirements for things like a transfer station in Marfa, how it would be built, how it would need to be built, how we get the trash from Marfa to Presidio, et cetera. So, but I think it's a good project for the whole family.
Nice.
I don't have anything else. Is there any other Does anybody have anything else, Ms. Sanchez?
No, sir.
Caro? Patty?
No, Judge.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Okay.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
I
12:51 PM.
Thank you all.